What's going on, guys? So Callum here, just with a quick outlook and recap video, just in place of Tom's usual 8 PM live call. So just making sure we have our outlook ready for tomorrow, the last trading day of the week. So let's get into it. So just starting over here on euro dollar, a directional bias since the 23rd of June has been this follow through to the downside. Now I saw a couple of questions on people getting confused with why this is follow through, why isn't it NFT? So this was their previous high, this was their previous low. This still remains their high, by the way. But this was the previous low, which broke with this bearish candle, bearish 4-hour candle. So when that candle closed, we were unconfirmed. When this bullish candle closed, we were now confirmed NFT, one bearish, one bullish. But then when this bearish candle closed here, happened below this fractal low, that gave us FT. So we know once our biases follow through, we're waiting for sells from premium, but we can also take advantage of counter trend buys up into premium before we can look for those sells from premium pricing. So we know that's our bias, we know what we're waiting for, we know what we're looking to do. So I'll just drop down to the 15 minute and we'll just have a look at a couple of trades. So this was a trade from Tuesday London session, which resulted in a 1% loss for me. I know there was a few who entered on this candle, the original sweep. However, so if you did take a loss here, completely valid trade. I was just at the charts at the time when this candle had closed, and I remember watching this candle print. It actually broke the high of this candle first. So for me, that showed that we were going to get an extended sweep entry. So I was happy to wait for the next candle to close and see if it was going to keep pushing forward. Obviously it broke the high and then came down and would have tagged you in. So you did have an order sat here, you'd have been tagged in and tagged out, unfortunately. Nothing wrong with that. It was just the fact that I was sat at the charts and I saw it close here, open here and push up. So as I was at the charts, I thought, I'll wait for that next candle to close before setting my order. And then obviously the next candle moved up again, and then the next candle moved up again. So I was able to set an order here on this candle with a 7 pip stop, a little bit of wiggle room at the top, and within 3 candles I was tagged at any for a -1. But it is what it is. This is part and parcel of trading. Obviously there's been discussions in the group chat, people saying the amount of pairs they trade, and it's all down to, we're not just putting it back on you in terms of go and do your data. We actually want you to go and do your data, do your data collection, find out how many pairs you want to trade, what is your personal risk tolerance to losing streaks. If you're not comfortable with taking big losing streaks, then you really need to limit the pairs you're trading. You need to find out what your max losing streak is per pair, and then you're in for no surprises once you know that. Once you know these things, nothing can surprise you other than a freak event that no one could see coming. If you know over the last 2 years of data what these pairs do, the characteristics of them, typical losing streaks, then you know that, okay, if I trade 3 pairs all at once, and I have my max exposure at -3, so 1% per pair, and each pair takes a loss, you've got to be willing to be -3, and then you've got to be willing to go again, so you could potentially be -6 if each pair takes a 2 losing streak. So you really need to dig into your data collection and find out what you as an individual are comfortable with doing. So I'll just get this trade out of here. And then moving into New York session, there was a trade here which we're now trading nicely in premium, so looking for those sales. New York session, sweep of this high, entry there, tagged in. Took a little while to get to profit target, but I know a few of you caught that one, so I'll just remove that off there. And currently, where are we with the bias of EU? So like I said at the start, it is follow through to the downside. Was able to catch a couple of sells there for those who caught those. If you didn't, nothing to worry about. Now we're trading back in discount, so all that we're looking for potentially now are counter trend buys. If counter trend trading is in your plan, that is the main thing. If counter trend trading suits you, suits your plan, and you're happy to take them, then yeah, you can look for counter trend plays back into premium. But other than that, if you're trading pro trend, then you want to wait for premium pricing before looking for more sells on EU. So if we just flick over to GU, and I know I've got this, we've had obviously a few little bias changes currently, but I'll just flick back onto where we previously were, sorry. So we were in an SFT scenario, we were SFT on this fractal high here, so that was bullish body candle close followed by another bullish body candle close. So that was SFT on this range here, and this was probably the main topic of the call, as this is why I wanted to touch on the amount of opportunity which will be made available in an SFT scenario. So when we get SFT, we can take buys from premium, we can take buys from discount, we can also take sells from premium. So there's 3 places of entry in an SFT scenario. So that's why I have some people saying, how come I've taken 5 trades in a single day on GU and they may have all been losses? You may have picked up a couple of wins in there, but there seems to be so much opportunity in the SFT environment, and it's because you're not waiting for a certain area to be buying and selling. So that is something that you need to bear in mind, that when we are in SFT environments and we have that directional bias as SFT, then you know that buys are going to be available in both premium and discount, and sells are going to be available in premium. So it is one of those where you can end up getting drawn in and end up taking unnecessary losses if you are taking every sweep in every directional, in every way, just because we're in an SFT environment. So I'll just flick down to the 15 minute and we'll see some trades that were taken. So this is the trade from Monday. I think Scott covered this on his call Tuesday morning, but we'll just run through it again anyway. So again, this was a nice extended sweep entry. London session, sweep of this high, that candle swept, you had your entry here, moved higher, you'd have had your entry here, moved higher again, you put your entry here, and that one with a 13 pip stop, or even if you got in with a 14 pip stop, hit TP nicely for 3% there. So that was a nice solid trade. And again, that is just put on the premium discount tool. So that was just on, and I go, this is another personal preference of what people do or whether they don't do this, is, so the sweep happened. So this is counter trend SFT. So the sweep happened just in premium. The entry for me, the entry candle was just in, the majority of it was in premium, but however, I was tagged just ever so slightly below into discount. So again, this is personal preference. There is no black or white rule with this. If you are happy to take these, then take them. If you have data to prove that you would rather stay out of these, then you need to do whatever suits you and the data that you've collected. However, for those who did take it, congratulations. For those who stayed out, well done, you stuck to your plan. And if it's not in your plan, then you didn't miss out on a trade. It's like there's people in the community who trade gold, and if they went on a 10 win streak, I didn't miss out on anything because I don't trade gold. It is simply what it is. So again, that was a solid trade there. Just remove that one. And then moving into, just move this out of the way for the time being, moving into Tuesday. So this was taken at a similar time to the trade on euro dollar, and the sweep here at the point of, so obviously we had coming into London, this sweep of this fractal was, obviously this is the most recent internal fractal, that one happened before kill zone. However, our current range at that point, if I just get the tool, the box tool, our external range was here. So our external range swept, extended sweep 730, and this candle moved higher, which meant that we were able to enter on this candle with around a 19 pip stop loss. If you did 18, I know I used 18, I just got tagged out on spread here, came very close, tagged me out there, but if you used a 19 pip stop and you trade external sweeps, obviously this is the time when it happened. Obviously we had a larger external range and we had this internal fractal. I know there was discussion in the GU chat in the morning happening was this has swept before kill zone, so there's no trade. There's no trade on this fractal. However, on the external range, there is, because once kill zone opened at 7:30, sweep of the external, extended sweep entry, set your order there, 19, maybe even a bit, you may have gone 20 or however you did. I know I went a little bit too tight at 18, got tagged out there on the spread. But if you did use a 19 pip stop loss, then you would have held through and hit TP somewhere down here for 3% profit. So again, good trade, those who caught it. For those who didn't, make sure you're always taking note of the external range. I know it can get a little confusing of the external and the internal fractal, but there was an entry there. So that was counter trend SFT again. And then later on in 9:15, around there was obviously the follow through entry. So the buy here, so we swept, came down, swept this entry for around 12 pip stop. If you'll let me click it on there, 10 pip stop and a couple of candles, and tag that for a minus 1% loss. So this is what I mean when you can end up taking a lot of losses in a SFT scenario. Just see, I took one loss shorting and I took one loss buying. Those who had a bigger stop than me on the sell would have profited, and it simply is what it is. You have to understand that that's the nature of the beast. So having strings of losses like that, or back-to-back losses on a single pair, it really is what it is, and you just have to accept that when you accept to get into this game. So had I known if I'd have put an extra pip on the top of there, or so be it, that one would have been a winner. But I didn't, so I was having to be short there at that time and long here at the same time. And again, we're SFT at that point. So again, shorting from here and buying from there, it's all around the 50% of premium discount. So please do some data collection and see whether you're happy to, whether you want price to come deep into premium or deep into discount before you enter a trade. However, I'm happy to take these, even if they might, like you saw on the first trade on EU, the first trade here, sorry, which was the entry. My entry here on that short trade was just in discount. So it was a counter trend trade just into discount. So I'm happy to take these trades around the 50% mark. Yeah, more than happy with the results here. So what do we have currently on GU? So the directional bias has now been interacted with. Let me delete this off here for a moment just to run through how we process their bias today. So as we interacted with this, so yesterday we interacted with this 4-hour low, so giving us confirmed. I'll just bar replay this just to run through how we're looking at this. So of course we are SFT on this high currently. So that's how we've been since, just take this back one more candle. So at this point here, we are SFT. We know that we're not doing anything. Our bias remains the same until this 4-hour low and this 4-hour high are interacted with. So let's just bar replay this forward. Let me try again. Bar replay, didn't want to have it. No. Not sure why it's playing up. Anyway. So forget bar replay. Must be, so I'll try and restart after. However, when we interacted with this wick close here, that gave us confirmed NFT at that point because we wicked it, we interacted and closed. So at that point, we move this as our low. That becomes our high. And this that we interacted with becomes NFT. And then once we have 1, 2, 3, 4 hours of NFT bias, we then come down to interact with this 4-hour low. So once this is interacted with again, if I zoom in here, we did just break it with a tiny bit of body, so at that point we are unconfirmed. And then when we get this bullish candle, we now have NFT on this low. So what do? That becomes our new low, even though there's not a fractal there. That's current low, and this becomes NFT on this low. So what can we do for tomorrow? So heading into Friday. So if we pop on 50% range, premium discount, NFT, we could be looking for buys in discount and counter trend. Obviously, if counter trend trading is in your plan, like I always say, some sells from premium in this case. So it's a smaller range. When we have these smaller ranges, we're more likely to be interacted with more often. The buyers can change, so make sure you're staying aware of the 4 hour being interacted with. But we could get something. Wrong tool. It's this one I was looking for. So we could trick around here tomorrow, come into London, sweep, and we could look for something like this, rough image, and that would be a textbook buy in discount NFT. So something along those lines. Not a great drawing, I know, but just give you some visual representative of what we're looking for when we have NFT. So we're looking for some buys in discount there, and then we can take some counter trend plays back down, but always being aware when these ranges are smaller, they're more likely to get interacted with. So by the time London session comes around tomorrow, one of these could well have been interacted with. So lastly, dollar Swiss. Now dollar Swiss has been stuck, confined between these ranges for some time now. So we had NFT on this low. So all we've been doing for the past, since the 16th of June, we've been looking for buys from discount and sells, counter trend sells from premium. So I'll just pop that tool back on just so we can see where we're taking these trades from. And 2 buys and 2 sells. So 2 buys coming from discount because we're NFT, 2 sells coming from premium because they're counter trend NFT. So just flash back to, this was a Tuesday morning trade, negative 1% loss. And at the time, this was a fractal. It's now, due to the series of candles what occurred after it, it's now not a fractal. But at the time I took that trade, that was a fractal low, sweep, extended sweep entry. So when that swept, had the entry set here, and then when it extended, moved the entry down to there, a couple of pips to cover the low, and then was up running and taken out for a negative 1% loss. But it is what it is. Moving forward, it is that we're in ST, we're looking for buys in discount, so it completely fits the bill. Next trade was this sweep here on Wednesday, which ever so slightly swept this low. So really nice trade. Little sweep of this fractal here. It's around a 6 pip stop and hit TP nicely for 3%. And this was one where the entry was tagged. So by the time I got tagged into this trade, this was one where I remember chatting to guys in the dollar Swiss chat, and I was actually logging on to remove this order. So I look at the clock, I had an alarm set for 10 o'clock to remove all pending orders, end of kill zone. And as I was logging on to remove this order, I saw drop down a few. If you drop down on the low time, you see this was actually tagged at directly 10 AM at the dot. So it's rare that happens. Usually that candle could have closed, open and closed here, and then it could have been trading around in, which I was coming on to remove the order, but I was tagged in the trade. It is what it is. Sometimes you get tagged in, sometimes you have a couple of minutes to remove the order at the end of kill zone. Luckily that one ended up going on to TP, which again, all the credentials were there. I know a few just got put off by the end of kill zone, and another 30 seconds without being tagged in, I'd have had the order removed, so that would have been a trade which I wasn't in. However, I was just tagged by the time I got to my phone. But yeah, good trade. That's what we're looking for. Remember the 4-hour bias, NFT to the upside. So we're looking for buys in these discount areas. So those are the bread and butter trades you want to be taking. When we have that directional bias, you're in the right zone here to be taking advantage of those. You get us pro trend with NFT, with pro trend looking to buy that from discount. So then as we flicked over into premium pricing, there was a entry New York session on this candle here. So again, another extended sweep entry. Seven pip stop. Sweep of this high here. Just into premium, and there's discussions on this one as well as how far into premium or discount does it need to be, and the answer to that is, what does your data tell you? What are you happy to do regarding what your data tells you around these 50% marks of premium discount? For me, again, happy to take that. Took 2 trades on, or 2 or 3 trades on GU this week, all around the same mark, all around the same 50%. Yes, it can get a little bit tricky here and there when your entries, where the sweep happens here and the entry tags you in like 1 pip below. But again, if you're not comfortable with doing so, please just go and grab some data and find out what works for you and what doesn't work for you. So this one hit TP very nicely, and hide that, and then a repeat today of what happened here. We can tell getting to that premium pricing, we can go counter trend now, so we can look for counter trend moves to trade this back into discount. So again, nice little entry here, this candle, sweep of this high, heading into, this was very start of kill zone this morning on the extended kill zone, sweep, entry, and nice TP. I know some people passed funding on this on their challenges today with that take profit there. So rounding up, there's been some good trades. People who have been messaging me who may have taken more losses than what they need to, always try and remember, if counter trend trading is not in your plan and you don't have enough data to be doing so, then please don't do it. Remember, SFT is going to give you a heap of opportunities that a lot of you, especially if you're not experienced with trading this style, that you're not going to need. You're going to see opportunity everywhere. You're going to be buying, selling, and you really can be overwhelmed with data, or opportunity, should I say. You can be overwhelmed that you can buy, for example, on GU, you buy in all those scenarios. You could also counter trend sell it. So in that one scenario, in that bias, a lot of opportunities are available. But yeah, just please go away, collect your data, find out what you're comfortable doing. Even if you add in, or just go down to 1 pair, or even if you add in a max daily loss limit of, let's say you take 2 losses, you're done for the day. You need to be able to limit catastrophic behavior, because what if you're trading 5 pairs and you have 5 opportunities in London, 5 opportunities in New York? It's not logical to take all of those opportunities, unless obviously the first 5 were winners. Then yeah, you're sitting nicely, but we never know the series of their wins and losses. So quickly before I wrap up, bias on dollar Swiss remains the same. It is still NFT to the upside, so we can look for counter trend plays from premium, and we can look for pro trend plays, so these buys from discount. So hope that helps. Hope there was some value in that. Any questions, let me know. Hit me with the DMs in Discord, and I hope you have a great rest of your week.